What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Back with my segment, What's Next? I want to talk about Marcos Maidana. And again, he put on a memorable, tough competitive fight against Floyd Mayweather. And all the credit in the world to him and his team for that. I want to talk about Marcos Maidana. What do I see? First, I want to say the dick riders are out in full fucking effect. Now, if you go to some of my older videos when the fight was announced, Marcos Maidana versus Floyd Mayweather, just peep. Look at some of the comments, search the channel, and you'll see there's a bunch of dick riders, man. Like, I was actually defending the fight. A lot of you guys were like, oh, Marcos Maidana, he's cherry picked. He's flat footed. He's way too slow. And you were saying stuff like Devin Alexander beat him easy. Amir Khan's leftovers, blah, blah, blah. And I was on my channel defending this man. I told you Marcos Maidana, he's improved drastically since the Devin Alexander. Devin Alexander wasn't with Robert Garcia. Not to mention, in addition to Robert Garcia and the experience and the tutelage of Robert Garcia, he also has Alex Ariza, who's a strength and conditioning coach, and he's one of the best in the business, and he knows his stuff. So they're working on his stamina. They know what Robert Garcia and his team, they know what needs to happen, and they know how to motivate Chino. And a good thing with Chino is, to me, he seems like the type of fighter who is not really egotistical. He said he just likes to fight. He just seems more prideful than anything. He doesn't seem like he has this big ego where he's above and beyond other people. Like, I can picture a lot of people being in Marcos Maidana's position, going to Robert Garcia and kind of feeling like they know it all. Like, even a Victor Ortiz, I can picture Victor Ortiz being big-headed based on the fights he's been in, and then having to humble himself. And I don't see that with Marcos Maidana. After the Devin Alexander fight, he told you in the All Access with Adrian Broner that he contemplated retirement. And luckily he didn't, because it looks like he has plenty of fights left in him. And he went to Robert Garcia. He went humble. He went as a student of the game, ready to learn, eager to learn. And he's improved his game. And I told you guys that on my channel. I don't delete comments and all stuff like that. I don't have time for that. So go look at the old videos and you'll see. Again, some of you guys are like, oh, Devin Alexander beat him easy. He's flat-footed. He's too slow. And this motherfucker gave Mayweather one of the toughest fights of Mayweather's career. So you got to give credit to that. And me and Chino, I think we're really the only people, major boxing channels. There could be others. I don't listen to everyone's videos, or, you know what I mean? I might not have caught it. But a lot of people were writing Marcos Maidana off. And I know for a fact Chino was another guy who on his channel was saying, hey, don't sleep on this dude. Marcos Maidana, he's something. And I did the same thing. So like I said, don't take my word for it. Go look at the old videos. Go look at the comments. And me and Chino basically were having to stick up for Marcos Maidana. And Bob Arum and a whole bunch of other people were like, oh, it's a 20-1 underdog. Thought it was going to be an easy fight. And it didn't turn out to be easy work. So again, props to Marcos Maidana. He has a great team around him. Robert Garcia has definitely implemented and motivated Marcos Maidana, and it showed. I remember I was at my brother's and we were watching the Jesus Soto Caras fight with Maidana, and that was on the Josecito Lopez versus Canelo undercard, the same night as Sergio Martinez and Chavez Jr., and we were watching all the fights, and I'm like, damn, when did Marcos Maidana get like this? He was almost looking slick a little bit. He was using a jab. I seen him fighting off the ropes. His defense looked better. I think that's one of the best fights where his jab came into play. He was just giving Soto Caras different looks. And Soto Caras is a fighter with a granite chin and veteran experience and has some power too. So to me, I was really impressed in that Soto Caras fight. And then since then, he keeps proving. And he has some good names since that fight, since he partnered with Robert Garcia. He took on fights that others probably wouldn't want to take on. Soto Caras, he fought Josecito Lopez after Lopez beat Victor Ortiz. And he just keeps showing improving. His last 4 fights before Mayweather, 3 of those bitches ended via TKO or KO. And they were good, sturdy names. And then what he did to Adrian Broner was just a demolishment. Like, you know what I mean? He just annihilated Adrian Broner. So he had all that momentum going into the Mayweather fight, and it turned out to be a great fight. So I give both fighters a lot of props. A lot of fighters, they don't withstand what those two fighters did. You know what I mean? Maidana was getting hit in the body too, and he just kept coming, kept trucking. One thing I really like about Marcos Maidana is he went in exactly how he said. Now, Robert Guerrero, he said he was going to do X, Y, and Z. He said he knew he had to adapt going into the Mayweather fight. And then when he couldn't figure Mayweather out, it seemed like he gave up and like broke down mentally. I'm not gonna say gave up, but it seems like he broke down mentally. Like before the fight, I remember Ellie Seckbeck had an interview with him, and he was like, "Yeah, I know I gotta do this X, Y, and Z and adapt." And then you didn't show that. Same thing with Canelo. I don't think Canelo was afraid of Mayweather, but he just didn't know what to do in there, and he tried to outbox a masterclass boxer, which was stupid on his behalf. Marcos Maidana did exactly what the fuck he said he was gonna do. He said, "I'm not afraid of no man." Robert Garcia also said he talked to Maidana before. Maidana's been shot at. He used to be in gangs. He was on some street shit back in Argentina, and it showed. I mean, he doesn't look feared. Like he doesn't. He looks fearless. He doesn't look like he was afraid of Marcos or Floyd Mayweather. He didn't. He looked like he was ready to go. If you watched before the fight, he was laughing and smiling. He looked ready. He just looked ready and focused, and he didn't break down, and it made it competitive throughout. Plus, he has power, so you never know. I mean, you never know what was gonna happen. The 12th round, I'm like, damn, this is it. You know what I mean? This is gonna be good because if anytime you have a power puncher, your best bet is to try to get him out of there if possible, because you don't want someone like that hanging around. You just don't. If you watch the late great Emmanuel Stewart in the Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson fight, Emmanuel was telling you, and I agree with his sentiments. He was just like, he's like, you gotta get this motherfucking Tyson out of there. You gonna fuck around and let him stay, and he's gonna knock your ass out. And Emmanuel Stewart was livid. Again, you don't play around with the power puncher as devastating as Marcos Maidana, Mike Tyson, guys like that. You don't leave him around if you have the ability to get him out of there. So Marcos Maidana, just tremendously improved fighter. Again, some of you guys were like, oh, the Devin Alexander fight, Devin beat him easy. That was before he was with Robert Garcia. That's before he looked like he looks like a different fighter almost. You know what I mean? He looks rugged and rough still, but even in the Mayweather fight, there was I forgot what round it was, one of the mid rounds where Mayweather started to come on, and Marcos Maidana was trying to throw him off with a jab. That was a good game plan because Mayweather was getting to him, and he was disrupting that rhythm with the jab. That's the sign of an intelligent fighter. And again, I think that all stems from Marcos Maidana just being willing to learn. So I don't care who you put this man in. The dude shows a chin. He shows heart. He's never been stopped. He's dealt with the losses and bounced back in tremendous fashion. So if by chance he doesn't get the Floyd Mayweather rematch, I want to see him against anybody. Put him in there with Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. I think the Sean Porter fight would be crazy because they kind of have a similar style in terms of how aggressive they are. They both can crack. And lately, Maidana's been throwing a high volume of punches. So that would be a crazy, crazy fight. But like I said, put him in there against anyone. Personally, I would actually like to see him against Ruslan Provodnikov as well as Pacquiao. Ruslan, he's fought at 147 before, so I think his power is the real deal at 47 still. And that would just be a bloodbath. As far as Pacquiao, he's fought Mayweather's leftovers before. I think that's a super telling fight. If they end this Cold War like De La Hoya said he's trying to do, see how Pacquiao does against him. Some say he'll get beat easy. Let's see it. At this age of his career, I want to see it. Let's see if Pacquiao does better with Marcos Maidana. We know Pacquiao hits hard, so I think that would be a great fight as well. Like I said, this guy's entertaining. He didn't back down. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. Like, truthfully, I think Victor Ortiz or Canelo both had opportunities and they squandered them against Mayweather. I'm not saying they were going to beat him because I didn't predict any of them to beat him, but they could have done exactly what Marcos Maidana did and gave Mayweather one of the toughest fights. Victor Ortiz is a southpaw. He came in weighing 165 or right around what Maidana was weighing against Mayweather, and he's a southpaw, which could have made it even deadlier. And to me, Victor Ortiz is more athletically gifted and more technically sound as a boxer than Marcos Maidana. The big difference is Marcos Maidana has fucking heart. He doesn't back down, whereas when shit gets hot for Victor Ortiz, he starts to mentally break down, get frustrated, and rabbit punch or that chicken shit he did where he tried to headbutt Mayweather, headbutted him or whatever, little stuff like that. He just loses it mentally. Where Marcos Maidana, when Mayweather was coming on, he still reacted in a better way. And as far as Canelo, I think maybe just Canelo being young, he got gun shy when he couldn't figure Mayweather out. He kind of got gun shy and he had a stupid game plan. I know Canelo's not really a volume puncher, but there's no way you were gonna box. So Marcos Maidana approached the Mayweather fight knowing his strengths and knowing his weaknesses, and I think that's required. You're not gonna outbox a guy like Mayweather. It's just not gonna happen. And Marcos Maidana played on his strengths and tried to nullify his weaknesses by making it a dog fight, making it a dirty fight, and doing whatever he can do. Floyd Mayweather's 7 years older than Maidana. So, I mean, if you're not getting called for the shit, you got to do what you got to do, and that's what he tried to do. So, again, props to Marcos Maidana and his team. Let me know what you guys want to see next from Marcos Maidana, and fuck you to the dick riders who were counting Maidana out, talking shit about how slow he was and how horrible he looked against Devin Alexander. Now all of a sudden you want to praise him and act like, oh, Maidana, he's the victor, he won, Maidana. Like, fighters don't need that. Fighters need your support when they're going through it after tough losses. And some of y'all don't do that. Y'all not there when the fighters are losing. You just want to be there when they have a great performance and shit. And I can't support that. But like I said, go watch Carcino's videos leading up to this fight. Watch my old videos, and we were defending this man. Now all of a sudden you guys want to jump on board. But it's good. It happens. That's what it is. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.